Hi, I'm Gavin Russell. I am the Global Programme Manager for Staffing at Skype. Some of our challenges we've got in staffing is aligning the staffing model to an incredibly fluid business model. We're growing rapidly, different countries, different markets, different products, different platforms. So it's been very difficult for us in staffing to understand where we deploy our resources most effectively. Other challenges include the constant debate between numbers versus quality. So we have an ongoing issue, as most organisations do, when you're recruiting, between the amount of numbers you're trying to hire versus the quality of those candidates we're trying to hire. And there's always a dynamic tension there. We're growing 40% of our entire headcount in the next 6 months. That's a huge challenge. How do we do that effectively without compromising on the quality of the individuals that we hire? And I think the last major challenge that we have is engaging with the best talent that's out there. Great people are hearing a lot of noise at the moment. They get a lot of challenges, they get a lot of approaches. They might have 1, 2, maybe half a dozen approaches a day from a headhunter saying, look at me. So one of the challenges is, how do you cut through that noise? How do you get to a really good message to those individuals that makes your employment brand stand out, but makes your message stand out, and so they actually want to engage back with you? What we found in our staffing model is to build flexibility and to build quality into that. We've separated out some of the key elements that we have in our recruitment process. We have a dedicated team that looks after sourcing, not resources, I hasten to add, but talent sources, very much a peer to our consultants that hire. And these guys really focus on building the pipelines, but building knowledge of the pipelines, where those channels are, who is moving in those spaces, what the great events are, how do we engage with those events, how do we connect with those people. We have our staffing consultants who really focus, once they've got the quality or the quantity in from the talent sources, really focus on the quality. And that's all about really understanding their business, really understanding what's happening now, what the pain is now, but also what the pain is going to be in the future, what the challenges are going to be in the future. And therefore, how do you build, or how do you identify great people that will help solve those problems in the long term, not just the short term. And of course we have an associate team, staffing associate team, that helps really make that machine work and take a lot of the day-to-day administration away from the sources, away from the consultants, to empower them to do their jobs. And we find that that model really helps us flex, but go really quickly and drive quality in a very ambiguous and dynamic world. There's a danger that social media actually replaces the point of the engagement or the relationship that you're trying to establish. We have a very strong social media presence anyway within Skype, given the nature of our products, given the nature of our brand. So we're very careful about how we align with the wider social network or social presence that Skype has. And we use, for recruitment purposes, we really look at how our Skypers already in the organisation use that to engage with the individuals around them. So it's much more the tool, the channel that they use to get great messages out to those people. And those messages aren't necessarily recruitment messages. Those messages about, here's the exciting stuff that we're doing, here's what's going on at Skype, here's what we're trying to be as an organisation, and here are the opportunities, not from necessarily a purely recruitment perspective, but from a business growth perspective. Get that message out there. And that allows us to get good messaging. It allows the message to be credible with the audience. And that allows then those people to come back to us, already engaged in the process, cutting through the noise, so that they can talk to us about things that they're already warm candidates, if you like, at that point. Our core way of interacting is obviously through the tool of Skype, and that would be one of the key ways that we would engage individuals. But I think how we look to develop our longer-term talent communities and how we look to engage with individuals is using the social media platform. So if we're developing a particular candidate pipeline, let's say it's Android developers in California, we'd make sure, whilst we'd set up a number of events and a number of activities to engage those individuals in the Skype mission, we would use social media as the way of engaging with them and communicating with them in a non-hard sell way, to ensure that they're aware of what we're doing, what's in it for them, how they can engage with other individuals within their particular business vertical. Use it very much as a way of getting a deeper, closer relationship with, not just with Skype, but with other individuals. And we become a facilitator of a wider conversation. And social media has been really good for us in terms of being able to engage with those individuals in a non-aggressive and non-invasive way. It's allowed those candidates to really control the relationship and feel that they weren't being sold to, but they had a stake in what we were discussing, and it was on their terms. And that's very powerful when it comes down to the relationships that you're trying to build with these individuals. Recruitment is a two-way street, as we all know, and so if people feel that they're not being barraged with communication, they're not being inundated with messages or mails, it's a much more engaging relationship, it's a much more productive relationship for both us as Skype as a business, but also the candidate.